I'm standing on the floor of the Peterman Valley, and this is the creek that runs through it, lined by these magnificent river red gums. There's been winter rain, and around me on the valley floor there's plenty of grass, and on the plains above the valley there's plenty of pick for the horses. And at the moment they're fat. And clearly here's a pool. There's no need for the horses to go to Farrer Springs at the moment because there's plenty of water along the length of this creek. But soon it'll dry out, and in a few weeks' time it'll only be a mud hole under that tree over there, and then the horses will have to make the trek back to Farrer Springs.
When the ephemeral waters dry up, a desert brumby band may be many kilometres from permanent water. Surviving female foals have travelled the valleys and rocky ridges many times in their long lifespan until the trails are imprinted in their memories. Thus, it is the mares that saves the band by leading it back to the remote springs, sites they may not have visited for months or years. The band stallion survives serendipitously, tagging along behind the alpha mare. Horses found dead beside dried out water holes are usually young males. They leave the band too early to develop the survival skills of the mares. The natural selection by evolution that created the species Equus caballus 25 million years ago gave the horse a suite of adaptations, fitting it perfectly for a northern hemisphere habitat. By a fluke of history, the same horse was transported to Australia and found itself in the central desert, free to roam, breed, and behave exactly as its ancient ancestors did. It's unlikely that evolution has altered the genetic makeup of the desert brumby in the 37 generations of its feral existence. Hardy hooves, long athletic legs, endurance physiology, intelligence and behaviour are the attributes of a fully evolved species being tested to their limits. Their existence in the desert is fragile, as their very presence damages the thin soils and native pastures on which they depend. Life can be tough for a desert brumby. The seasons alternate capriciously, from benign one year to lethal the next. Drought kills many.
I'm back in the Tent Hill Valley at the natural spring that in the winter a few months ago was supporting bands of horses, 60 or 70 horses a day coming to drink and then wander off to the pastures near and far. And then it was a precious natural resource, keeping many horses viable in this environment. But something terrible has happened now. 6 months later, we're in the grip of a severe drought, and weakened horses have come to the water, and some of them have died, and their decomposing bodies appear to have released into the water a deadly toxin, probably botulism, because all around here now, in the water, surrounding the water, in the hills, in the gullies, wherever we look, there are dead horses and dead cattle and dead camels. So what was once a essential resource has become a death trap for these horses. Never seen anything like it, or even heard of anything like this happening before.
However, the survival skills of one brumby generation are passed down to the next, and without human intervention, the red centre of Australia will continue to sustain the desert brumby for many years into the future.